What I wanted the students to do was to have a very unique experience, and I think by going to South Africa, there are similarities to the U.S., but a lot of differences. And what it does is it gives students a practical experience with actually covering issues that are important, that can give you an international flair. One thing we asked all the students before the trip was to think about what project do you want to pursue? And all of the students came up with varying projects that really touched their personal interests. I think for many of them, they found out that there was much more than what they anticipated before they boarded the plane.
My name is Arka Hurst. I'm 24 years old, and the project I'm working on is the state that media is in now, 20 years post-apartheid, and if it is diverse, if the media is exploring all the different avenues that the people are dealing with here. I found that social media here is big as far as voicing your opinion about the government, as far as service delivery. People that don't have access to social media, they find a way to get onto Facebook and voice their opinions.
My name is Haley Connaughton. I'm 19 years old. I go to Temple University, and I focused on the role of artisans and their makings in the economy. From interviewing people, I have realized that these people don't have full-time jobs. They realize they have potential to make something, and they make it, and they sell it on the street or in markets, in craft stores. In most cases, they didn't attend school, didn't get a good education, and they're using what they were naturally given to further themselves as individuals and have an income, a sturdy income for their family and themselves.
My name is Brianna Splaz. I'm 19 years old, and I study journalism at Temple University. Here, studying abroad in South Africa, I chose to focus on education. I really passionately believe in the power of a child's mind. And I found through my research when looking into some of the issues that plague South Africa that there's a heavily unequal system of education. Race relations in South Africa have changed. However, I found that there's still this inequality in the education system that stems from apartheid. And though the government has changed, the ideal has changed, there are still black children in the townships going to rural schools with no textbooks, no proper toilets, without some of the basic necessities that we really take for granted in the United States, and I thought that was so interesting.
My name is Eli. I'm 20 years old. I go to Temple University, and I'm doing a documentary video project about some of the new music coming out of South Africa right now. Well, the biggest thing that struck me about South African music is how similar it is to the US. I came all the way across the world just to find people that are rapping, making beats in their basements just like me. You know, people are trying to sell mixtapes, people are playing shows.
My name is Brianna Edwards. I'm 21 years old. My project is about the role of women of color in the apartheid movement and how it has changed post-apartheid. Women of color here have face the same struggles that women of color in the States have. They're often not recognized for all of the work that they put in. Being in South Africa has opened up new perspectives for me in terms of being able to discuss race with people who aren't of the same race as me. Made for some meaningful conversations that I feel like need to be discussed.
My name is Jack Tomczyk. I'm 21 years old. I'm studying the lost generation and people who were growing up during the latter part of the apartheid era. I was just in awe of the stories that people told me. When I first started this topic, I thought, oh, people are not going to want to talk, but people want to tell those stories, and people want you to know what happened to them and what happened to their families during the apartheid. That it's not just the prominent people that you hear about that have interesting stories, but also the regular person who's just doing a regular job today.
My name is Maggie Andresen. My age is 20 years old, and my project focuses on HIV/AIDS orphans and the stigma that has changed over the past 20 years surrounding the illness.
What I found from speaking with most of these children, some of them HIV positive, some of them HIV negative, was the consensus of HIV not being a death sentence. They said that it was a disease, but you don't die from it, which I think is really refreshing to see, especially when we consider the generation prior to these children being a proxy for ARVs and different types of HIV treatment, and just understanding that these kids are still so hopeful and full of life is just such a wonderful thing to experience.
Primarily my attraction to South Africa, to see it's almost like having an opportunity to visualize, it's almost like an incubator, and to see how things are going to evolve around race relations there and the lessons learned there that perhaps we can use here in the United States.
I realize now I have so much to be thankful for.
And just about every problem South Africa has stems from poverty. So in order to solve the problems that we're all talking about and we're all researching, we really need to tackle poverty at its core. And that's what this trip has taught me.
I felt a sense of family around people that I never met before, and I feel more empowered as a black woman going back to the States, and I want more women and black guys back home to be comfortable in their skin.
It has taught me to be a little more loving, because I feel like everyone could use a bit more of it.